Hi, sixth graders. Although I'm not at school today, we are still going to play our instruments, and I've made this video so that you can follow along and still get your practice in for the day. So turn to page 34 in your Essential Elements book, unpack and get tuned as best as you can. Take the next 5 minutes to do those things, and when you're ready, sit quietly so that the substitute teacher knows to move on. All right, we are going to start in the key of C major today. C major has no sharps, no flats in the key signature. So we're gonna play through the scale. And in the beginning of the year, we learned D major first, had F sharp and C sharp. So when we play the C major scale now, remember F naturals and C naturals. I'll play an introduction so that you know what bowing rhythm to play. Violin, violas stand up. Cellos sitting on the edge of your seat, basses standing up nice and tall. And scrolls for the violin violas should be facing the front of the room or the podium. Great. All right, now violas and cellos, you're gonna play the lower octave. So you're gonna start on open C string. And remember, when you start an open C string, everything else is on the tape, so it's kind of an easier scale for you guys. All right, C major again, bass and violin starting as you did before, cellos and violas starting on the C string. I'll give you an introduction. Go. Great. Next, we're going to go into the book on page 34, and we're going to skip number 135 since that's just a scale and we've been doing that. We're looking at number 136. And in number 136, it introduces the term duet, and I've used that term in class before. It means a composition with two different parts played together. So in some cases, they're playing, it's two different instruments. It could be the same two instruments. It can be two instruments playing different notes. In this case, we're going to be playing the same notes, whether you're on A or B line, but the rhythms are going to be different. So we're all going to learn line A together, then we're all going to learn line B, and then we'll split it up. All right? So I want you to start with line A, and we're just going to air bow and say the note names. And if you take a look right now, the note names probably shouldn't be too difficult because it's a scale. And it's just an ascending scale. It's only going up. It's not going down. So it's an ascending scale. Let's say the note names. We're going to do this rhythm. 1, 2, ready, go. C, 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 D, D, E, 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 F, F, G, 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 A, B, 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 C, C. And remember to do slow bows for the half notes, but then right after you play half notes and go back to quarter notes, you have to speed your bow up again. So let's try playing that together. Here we go. Fly into the string you start on. 1, 2, ready, play. we are going to play B. So air bow at first. Have a great bow hold. Tap your pinky wherever that pinky sits for you. Put your thumb up to your nose. Here we go. This is line B, air bowing and saying note names. 1, 2, here we go. C, C, D, 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 E, E, F, 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 G, G, A, B, B, C, C, C. Now let's play that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, slow bow, ready, go. All right, I missed a note at the end there, but good for you. All right, now violins and, how about violins and violas? You will play line B. Cello bass, you're gonna play line A, all right? So be sure when you're playing half notes in your head, think slow bow, that's gonna help you. All right, violin, violas, sit on the edge of your chair. Your right foot on the right side of your chair, the left foot right in front. Cellos and bass have great posture. Violin, violas, you're on line B. Cello, bass, you're on line A. Here we go. I am going to play the bass cello and I'm going to play line A. 1, 2, here we go. 2, 3, 4. Great, now switch lines. So if you played line A, you're gonna play line B now. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, I hope that went well. One last time, this time, pick your line. I am going to choose line B. Raise your hand if you're going to choose line A. Raise your hand if you're going to choose line B. All right, I'm going to just assume that it's a halfway split, and so it's great. All right, if there weren't enough for one group, switch to the other one. Here we go. 1, 2, here we go. Beautiful. So that's kind of your introduction to duets, and later in the year we're going to be doing duets and orchestra music where you guys are playing totally different things, different rhythms and different notes, and that's what kind of makes music fun and more interesting to listen to. And yeah, the harder the music gets, the more interesting it is. So this is Oak Hollow. It's number 137. And you'll notice that we're still in the key of C. This whole page is C major. This page and the next page. Oh, not the next page. So Oak Hollow is moderato in tempo. We know that's medium tempo. The time signature is a C, which means common time, 4/4. There's going to be 4 beats in a measure, and those 4 beats are chord notes. All right, so I'll play it first. I'd like you to air bow silently along. Now you can air bow here, you can air bow here, in your lap if you're a cello, or over the strings if you're a bass. This is Oak Hollow. 1, 2, ready. So first we're going to say the note names in air bow. 1, 2, ready, say it. C, D, E, E, F, 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 E, D, E, F, G, F, E, E, D, C, E, G, G, A, B, C, C, A, G, E, D, E, C. So that first line looks all stepwise to me, so I don't think we're gonna have too much trouble with the first line. The second line, it does a little bit of skipping in the beginning and at the end. So I wanna start at the end. I'm gonna start the last measure, all right? D, E, C, all right? Let's play the last measure. 1, 2, ready, go. I'm gonna give you one more shot. Make sure you're at the frog, or at least the lower half, so you have enough bow for that last note. 1, 2, last measure. Slow bow. All right, these are the last 2 measures. Keep in mind, it starts on C natural, so it's not gonna be on a finger tape. 1, 2, last 2 measures, go. And just as we talked about before, it's in the key of C and it ends in C, and that is no coincidence. If it's in that key, a certain key, it usually ends on that note. Sometimes, like in this case, it also begins on that note. All right, we are going to play the beginning of that second line where it's difficult. I'll play it for you one more time. It skips a little bit. You are only going to play those 2 measures. It's really important that you don't play more than that. 1, 2, starts on C, go. I have a feeling that this is going to be a time where it's good to pluck. So let's try without our bows, forgetting about that slur. 1, 2, this is measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, measure 5, go. C, E, G, G, A, B, C. I want you to bow it, play it this time, without the slur. It's gonna sound like this. 1, 2, measures 5 and 6. This time we're gonna make it a hooked bow when we get to that slur. 1, 2, hooked bow, go. Last time, it's a hooked bow, and then we're gonna play it as normal. So hooked bow last time, ready? Go. Smooth it out, make it a slur. We're gonna play the whole entire last line, measures 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, last line, go. Slur. All right, we are already going to try to put it together. Let's pluck the first line one time and then we're gonna play through it. 1, 2, this is the first line, plucking, go. C, E, D, E, E, F, 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 E, D, E, F, G, F, E, E, D. I think the hardest part about this is just remembering the F natural instead of the F sharps. So F naturals, keep in mind, here we go. We are going to bow the entire thing from beginning to end. Good luck. I'll play an introduction. My introduction is the last 2 measures of the song. This is going to give you time to sit up tall, think about great posture, great bow holds, and straight bow. This is your introduction. Set your bow on the string that you're going to begin on. going well for you. I want 2 soloists. The first soloist is going to play measures 1 and 2. The second soloist is going to play measures 5 and 6. So that first soloist playing 1 and 2, the substitute is going to pick right now. And the substitute is now going to pick the soloist for measures 5 and 6. It's a measure with the slur, remember. All right, we are going to start together. I'm going to do the introduction. The soloist will play 2 measures. We all will play measures 3 and 4. Next soloist 5 and 6. Everybody 7, 8. Here we go. Instrument up, even if you're not the soloist. Here's your introduction, soloist. Ready, go. Everybody, join. Next, solo. Everybody sing natural. Great. Now we're going to move on to the G major activity. This you will need a pencil for. Make sure you have a pencil. And do not write on the stands, remember. Either write on your lap, on a folder, or on your chair. We are going to be writing a 1-octave G major scale, and I'm going to walk you through all the steps. And title it the G as in good, G major scale. First, we write our clef. Be careful writing that clef. Use your music in your folder if needed for reference. Remember, the treble clef is called the G clef because this tail hits the G here. Alto clef is called the C clef because this hits the C, this little thing in the middle. And for bass clef, our dots are around the F, the line for F, and so it's an F clef. All right. Our G major scale has 1 sharp. We know it's F sharp. And we're not just putting a sharp sign in willy-nilly. It's going through this line that's F. If you're a violinist, if you're a violist, you find the space F at the top, and you draw the sharp sign around that. And for cello bass, you find this line F and put your sharp sign going through the middle of that. All right, next we find our first note G. It's a low G. Open for everybody except basses. They have a different G. But for cellos and basses, it's going to be on this bottom line. So violins are the only ones that are using ledger lines in this one. So make sure your ledger lines are pretty evenly spaced. Don't just draw 2 random lines, either really big or really scrunched up. Try to make them about the distance apart as the staff lines above it. Do your best. We're drawing all whole notes right now. Good. So continue your scale. For violins, again, be careful. You've got a space. This one goes through a line. There's only 1 ledger line now. We got a space, a line, space. No more ledger lines. And stop when you get up the scale. Great. Double check with your partner or your elbow partner, the person next to you, that they have this so far looking right, and especially looking at those ledger lines for violins. Great. Now, it's not enough to just go up a scale. You have to go back down too. So draw all those notes going back down. Remember, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops, left one up. All right, looking good. So now, for violins, you have it easy because all of your stems are going up because none of your pitches reach this middle line. So when our stems go up, they are to the right of this note head. Good. Now, this middle line here is where our stems start to go down. So alto clef people, bass clef people find that middle line. All of those things on that middle line are higher. Stems go down. And when the stems go down, they're to the left of that note head. So the pitches D, E, F, G for basses are the ones that go down. All other stems go up. So, how long do we make these stems? Well, it's about the length of an octave. So G to G. So G to G, maybe this one's a little long. You want your stems to be about an octave long. So take the time to check with the person next to you that you've done this correctly. And once you double check with them, fill it in to make quarter notes. Once you're done with that, you can put the staff paper in your folder and we can move on. All right, we've gone over C major and G major, and now we are going to touch on D major. So to get our heads back in D major, let's play a D major scale. We are going to play it like this. All right, so everybody sing up nice and tall. You can stay seated for this. 1, 2, D major, go. All right, we are going to practice Allegro right now. So take out your sheet of paper for Allegro, share with a partner if you do not have it in front of you. We are going to practice those bow lifts, getting to the frog, being ready for those bow lifts that we've written in. We wrote in bow lifts at the end of the first and second lines, remember? And we're gonna practice playing really staccato at the beginning and more legato in the middle. All right, so this is Allegro. Sit nice and tall. I'm going to do an introduction, which will be the last line for you. Join me after I play it. Ready, go! Ready, go. All right, I hope that's sounding pretty good. We are going to practice the bow lift at the end of the first measure, or excuse me, the first line. So we are going to start this part. So we are going to play measure 4 and 1 together to practice going back to the first measure, making sure we're in the right part of the bow to do that and that we're not delaying the start of the beginning. So this is measure 4 and 1. Play it with me. 1, 2, ready, go. freeze. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, ready, go. Good. Now, I want you to watch as I play it this time. What you're observing is what part of the bow do I retake and set my bow at. All right? Just watch me. Point to that place on your bow. You should be pointing to the lower half. We call this the balance point because if I were to find it on my bow, it would be about here. If I went over here, it wouldn't be balancing. It would be falling this way because the frog is really heavy. So your balance point, it's different on every instrument's bow, but it's going to be, I don't know, 3 inches or so away from this winding, maybe less. And that's the place that you want to set your bow at because you want to be balanced and you don't want to get this sound. And that's going to happen if you are anywhere above that balance point. If you're below the balance point, you might get a little bit of that scrapey sound. So you have to find this sweet spot. We're going to play this 4 more times, and we're going to freeze after we play that 4th measure. So it's going to sound like this. And I want you to look around the room, make sure that your neighbor and yourself are in that correct spot. So the first time, watch yourself. 1, 2, ready, last measure. Check yourself. If you are too high, think about getting lower this time, making a bigger circle, all right? Do once again. 1, 2, ready, go. Great. This time, find somebody across the room and make sure they get to the right part of the bow. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, we are gonna do it one last time. This time we're gonna play it with the first measure, and I want you all to make sure that you start on that first beat together. First beat of beat 1, measure 1. 1, 2, measure 4, go. Ready, go. Good. What happened, what may have happened and probably happened with some of you is you were a little late to that quarter note. What I'm going to suggest is using more bow speed on the half note to kind of propel you into that circle bow to get back to the balance point and be ready for that quarter note. So let's try it one last time and then we'll put it all together. 1, 2, last measure of line 1, ready, go. All right, I hope that sounded good. So this is the first line twice with the repeat. 1, 2, ready, begin. Good. Now we're going to practice that retake into the second line because we have to go. That one's more difficult because we have to change strings now. Before we were staying on one string, now we have to change strings. So let's try measure 4 and 5. 1, 2, ready, go. And freeze there. Let's do it once again, and we're gonna do the activity where we stop after measure 4. I want you to get to the frog, or the, excuse me, not the frog, but the balance point, and have your finger ready to play the next note. Good luck. Measure 4, stop on measure 5 before you play it. Ready, go. Once again, ready, go. Good. We're going to play measures 4 and 5 now. 1, 2, here you go. All right. Keep in mind also that in this legato section, you don't slow down until it says to. So this wouldn't make sense. You have to keep in the tempo. Now slow down. All right. And can we practice that part? That time, it's kind of nice because we get that fermata, so we get to freeze before we keep playing. So play the end of the second line. A, F sharp, E. Yeah. Ready? Go. Good. Do it one more time. Make sure that you're playing forte, mezzo forte, piano. All right, 1, 2, less and less pressure. Ready, go. Good. And that last half note, since we're slowing down, it can be as long as you'd like, all right? Be really dramatic about it. Last time, playing those 3 notes. Ready? Last measure of the second line. Set, go. All right, listen carefully. We're going to play the second line with the measure right before it. So this is measure 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, it starts on E. And be ready to play. All right, we are going to play through the whole thing. I hope that as you go through this time, the retakes sound cleaner going back to where you repeat or going on to the next down bow. All right, that is my wish for you. Here is the introduction. And remember, the introduction is those last 4 measures. So when I play the introduction, set your bow in the right place, probably here, and be ready to play. Ready, go. Balance point. Good. And make sure to let that last note sing. It's a beautiful one, and it's going to vibrate a lot.